she connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts with Cindy Rose on how the country running, we break it down. A chance undone in pound and two, electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education, youth them future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability, she hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight, so you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul, information is power, take control. Grab your bush tea, clear your head, start your day, properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Daily talk show. Daily talk show. Covering the issues. It drops an empire. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts. We Cindy Rose and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts. We Cindy Rose and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. Before you step out, before you decide, get the facts in the morning and walk with pride. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine nation. Grab your bush tea, Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen, how the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news, she asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leader's seat, she connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts with Cindy Rose on how the country running, we break it down. A chance undone in pound and two, electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education, youth them future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability, she hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight, so you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul, information is power, take control. Grab your bush tea, clear your head, start your day, properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Daily talk show. Daily talk show. Covering the issues. It drops an empire. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts with Cindy Rose and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts with Cindy Rose and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. Before you step out, before you decide, get the facts in the morning and walk.
Good morning. Oh, how is my hair looking? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? I'm gonna lose this out. Oh my God, I look like a Rasta person. Not that that's a bad thing, but let's see. No, I'm making it worse actually. Leave it for now. Good morning. Welcome to the morning facts. I'm a little late. I apologize. I woke up to a surprise this morning, and I can't say what the surprise is, but I woke up to a surprise. So that had me going for a little bit. And then I had to go all the way to the college and drop my son off for college and come back. Um, so good morning. Welcome back to another show. Just some house cleaning real quickly. I'm not going to be on tomorrow because I'm going to head out to the TRC, the Telecommunication Regulatory Commission. They're having a conference over on Peter Island tomorrow. And so I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I'm gonna do that show. I might think I'm doing an evening show just to like fill the gap. But I definitely won't be on tomorrow morning. Oh, my ear. And I'll be back on Thursday, of course, hopefully. The conference is 2 days, but I think I'm only going to do the one day, which is tomorrow. But of course, I'm going to keep you guys posted. All right. So if I decide to do an evening show, I might just to like fill in because I know when I'm gone, you guys miss me. All right. So I'm just going to share this up a bit. Good morning. How are you guys doing? Thank you to all our sponsors for keeping the show going. What are we going to talk about this morning? Of course, as I told you guys, that I'm sure I'm going to have to come back with the conversation on immigration and labor and all of that. I know I'm going to have to come back on it. Every time I touch on that subject, I know I have to come back on it. So we're going to touch on it again this morning. We also going to touch a bit, well, I don't know. I think this conversation will probably go back into that conversation we were having yesterday about our youth and our young people and what's going on with them. Apparently, there were 2 fights at the high school yesterday. And if you have any information, put it in the comment section or send me a WhatsApp. But there were 2 fights at the high school yesterday, and both of them were with teacher and student. Okay, so that's one of what we're going to talk about this morning. We're going to bring up the St. Thomas issue again. I don't know if my friend King Sifu is anywhere wrong. I'm probably going to give him a shout. We're going to talk about that again. There was one senator or whatever he is in St. John. I guess he was trying to make himself look good as we head into elections, over there talking nonsense about he's leading some charge. Like, I think they forget that we don't belong to the U.S., but we're going to get to that. We're going to talk about Governor Bruce and his press conference and a lot of things that he had to say, or lack of what he had to say, because really and truly he didn't say anything. So we're going to get to that, and we're going to get to some of the headlines. Let me just share this live up. Yeah, I'm running a little behind, so I'm going to share the live up so we can get everybody on and a part of the conversation. Anegada, Business BVI, the Real BVI Community Board, District 78, Virgin Gorda. Let's just get all the people in here. I'll share that. You do your part in sharing the link. I'm going to share it over here on my WhatsApp groups. Good morning, Roger. What news you have for us today? All righty. We're going to talk, while we're talking about school fights in schools, I want to talk a bit about the technical school, maybe, or maybe this one might get me in trouble, but I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit something over there at the technical school. So, all right, let me just send this out to my broadcast groups. If there's something that you guys would like me to touch on this morning, let me know, and I will give it my best shot, and we'll go from there. So good morning to you. Welcome back. I'm going to take this second to take a 60-second break, gather myself and my thoughts, and we're going to be back 60 seconds on the dot. All right. Thank you for joining us, and good morning again.
policy talk to community news. She asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leader's seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts, we send the rose on how the country running. We break it down. A chance undone in pound and two. Electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education. Youth, them future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability. She hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight. So you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul. Information is power. Take control. Grab your bush tea, clear your head. Start your day properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Daily talk show. Daily talk show. We're covering the issues. It drops an empire. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts. We send the rose and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts. We send the rose and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. Before you step out, before you decide, get the facts in the morning and walk with pride. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine nation. Grab your bush tea, Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asked.
All right. Alrighty. So we're back. What's this comment here? The governor didn't speak about anything as it pertains to the enhancement of both immigration and customs enforcement and services. Nothing in respect to our border security enforcement. Can you say something about this? Um, all right, let's do some. I'm gonna do some quick shout outs. So maybe one. Mackenzie Crabb and Jaden Jackson have qualified for Carifta, sorry, for Carifta 53. So that'll be later. Well, not later, that'll be around Easter time when we have Carifta. So Mackenzie Crabb and Jaden Jackson have qualified, and so they'll be heading off to Carifta. Congratulations to them. All right, so let's get into it for today because I have to put in the 2 hours anyway. I'll have to put in the 2 hours. I'm not going to be mean. All right, let's start off with, I'm not going to jump back on immigration and land and property sales and all of that yet. Let me see where my friend Sifu is. So I want to bring him in on this conversation. Let me see. Let's see if he's available for a conversation today. All right, maybe he'll come back. Um, Sorry. Anyway, let's start with this. So, we've been having the situation that, well, I'm not, I don't know if to call it a situation or what to call it, but we've been having an ongoing issue. We've been having an ongoing issue with, you know, our fee increase to do charters in our waters. So that's been an ongoing thing. So today we wake up to a new headline where, and you know what? I've said before, the US and probably VI Consortium in particular, they are running their headlines and they're running these articles. I guess, maybe they're supporter of some part of the government or whatever is going on. And so they probably are against what has happened. So they do their headlines and so forth to make it look like there's a real problem happening, right? Anyway, so the headline this morning is Federal Government Mobilizes as BVI Charter Fees Trigger Vessel Relocations and Economic Losses. It's the same headline that they keep using. They just like keep switching it up because they already talk about the economical losses. They already talked about how many vessels have relocated over here, etc. Right? But anyway, they'll be just fine. So apparently, the Small Business Administration Atlantic Regional Administrator, Matt Coleman, was in the Virgin Islands over the past weekend, and nobody from that sector has been here in about 30 years, they're saying. Woohoo. So he was here, and he had a whole lot to say about the fair. I guess, people called him, and he said he's going to be he described what is going on as, the actions by the British Virgin Islands. He said they're harmful, financially harmful to the US Virgin Islands and its marine small business. And he's mobilizing a whole lot of government approach to deal with us. So he was on St. John and he was speaking from St. John, and he was standing up facing the BVI, and he was saying that he's enacted trade measures, or we have enacted trade measures that are monetarily punishing the U.S. Virgin Islands, right? The marine sector. I shouldn't really do this, but I'm just gonna look him up quickly. I want to look him up quickly for a particular reason. I'm not gonna say why. So, Coleman, US SBA. Matt Coleman, images as I suspect, as I suspected. Anyways, I guess, the mainland people over there living in the US, they had to find somebody that identifies with them. That's the best way I'm going to say it. Somebody that identifies with them to try to come first, but somebody needs to go and tell them to understand their geography and whatever else is going on here. So, so he said that he's coordinating federal partners such as the U.S. Department of State, the Department of Commerce, the Department of Homeland Security, and other agencies and sub-agencies to lead the charge to address, well, he said these economical challenges. All right, so that may not even include what we're doing, but he said he's going to look at these economic challenges. So And they also said something about, inviting the BVI to come to Washington, or inviting the BVI to come to Washington to discuss these matters. So I just want to say, like, if they're listening, right, we don't gotta come nowhere. Because one, we don't belong to the US, so they can't summons us to come anywhere. If they want to have a conversation about something we're doing in the BVI, I believe over here would be where they need to come and have a conversation with us. We don't need to go looking for them to have any conversations. We already said what we've said. And like I said, I don't know whether the premier will go back or if he'll adjust or whatever. He has to make that decision as the premier and the leader of government business. But at the end of the day, I stand with the raises. I know the premier had a meeting the other day, but I don't think he had enough people from the marine industry over here in that meeting. Um, but I don't know what has come out of the meeting, to be honest. So, they continue on this path because I guess they thought that with all the talk that they were talking, that maybe the premier would have pulled back, be scared. If the Americans already, let me stop it before they don't let me back into America. I have to go through America to go different places. Anyways, before they don't let me back in through the USVI, I might have to take that expensive flight out of the airport. But anyway, so they've been doing, I consider it to be scare tactics. I think they've been doing a lot of scare tactics um, to look at, to make us kind of back down. But so far, nothing. So I say keep our feet firm in this fight. Do we have a cost of how much they charge for charters? So I think, it goes from, the charters, and then they have, the full on, catamaran charters, the wheat charters or whatever that they come in and do. And their cost is pretty high. So again, when we're looking at the prices, yes, it may look high that we've gone up so high in just all at once. But this is something, again, that's been, like I said, it's been on the table for decades. And for decades, the BVI has tried to adjust these fees. And there was always a fight and a pushback. And I believe it never really happened because we didn't really have any legs to stand on. But I think we're in a better position now where in terms of, trading and getting things, out of the same US or out to other places around the world. And, not having to even travel through St. Thomas, go down to St. Thomas to shop, etc. We go straight to the mainland. So I think we have a better leg to stand on. There are things that they can throw at us basically to say, oh, So some of that has helped us to, get where we are. And again, I'm going to say that the premier is a bully. He's a bully. People are calling me a bully. He's a bully. And I think, he's standing firm in this. He made the decision and he went ahead with it, despite whatever the other side had to say. And I think even some of that came out from the bullying that our government had during COVID, that US Governor Bryan imposed on us, right? We had a lot of bullying from him during COVID. It affected our economy. Nobody thought about that. The US Virgin Islands didn't care at that point because they were eating well again off of the BVI. So I encourage the premier to keep his foot in their throat. I'm gonna say it like that. And so, they make millions of dollars a year out of our waters, these charter companies. And some of their charters, you're right, are like $20,000 a day. And yes, there is a season, and at some point the season slows down, but they make 10, 15 times what, Lord, way more than that, because we're really charging them $24,000 a year. Is that the highest one? And they're literally making millions out of this industry, right? So I encourage the government to keep their foot down on this one, and see see where he takes his thing, this Coleman guy, whoever he thinks he is, let him take his fight. Any fight that's happening, I should say. We don't need to be going to Washington to discuss nothing. If they need to discuss something with us, something about us that's bothering them, they need to come over here. And I know the US could be quite some bullies. I was looking at this clip yesterday on, I think it was on Instagram. I think it was either on Instagram or TikTok, where they were having a conversation about South Africa, because South Africa is becoming kind of so independent in terms of, self, self, I want to say self-feeding, and, using their own stuff internally and not doing as much trade with the US. And the US is finding fault in, being upset with that, as if the whole world has to trade with them. Anyway, so we know that they're bullyish, and we'll see what comes out of this. But I encourage the government, Natalia, to keep his foot down on this, because yes, it seemed like a high price hike, but really and truly, they're making the money. They're making millions of dollars out of our industry, out of our waters, millions of dollars, like millions of dollars, period. So there on that. I was hoping Sifu was available to have the quick conversation, but he's not there. But we can move on from it. We can move on from it. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on to. There were some fights in the high school yesterday. Of course, they're trying to hide it. I don't know if I want to call the teachers names. Apparently, there aren't any videos, which is good. I guess they kind of controlling these children with their phones now. But there were two fights in the BVI High School yesterday. I still say BVI High School, but Elmo Stout High School. And both of these fights included, there were fights with a teacher and student. One fight was with a female teacher and a female student, and another fight was with another female teacher and a male student. Okay? The female on female fight. Um, Apparently came about because, I guess teacher felt disrespected in how a student spoke to her, and she slapped the child. Okay? She slapped the child for being disrespectful to her. And so a fight ensued. I remember when I used to go to school, and somebody reminded me about that the other day. I went to Seven Adventist Primary School, and we had two teachers there from Guyana. And I think all of us loved those two teachers. And those two teachers are really, they were from the old school. And oh my God, they really used to like beat. And in that day and time, like your parents weren't really gonna do anything. And I feel that their beatings were, a lot of it was child abuse. Um, and some of it, yeah, was just really, you could look at it as correction. And I remember a couple times, a couple parents came to the school for the teachers. I remember one, I remember one parent had thrown one of the teachers over some desks. Because, sometimes at the end of the day, right, the way I always say it's the way you do something. And quite often, I personally think that the way children were handled back in the day, you really could have called that abuse, even from their parents, the way your parents beat you, right? And then a lot of us would say, oh, spare the rod and spoil the child. But I believe that there are ways to do things. Now, I'm going to tell you really honestly, I would hate if a teacher slapped my daughter. I would really hate if a teacher slapped my daughter. And I believe that at this point, there's no physical punishment that is allowed to be had at the schools. That's what I understand. I can't tell you that I fully agree with it. And you know what? And you know what? Maybe it's right. Maybe it's right because you shouldn't have to put your hands on someone to correct that person. And again, this is gonna go back to how parents are raising their children from the household and what's going on in the household, and it becomes very difficult to control certain children and handle certain children and so forth. But I don't know what the remedy would have been, because I don't know the full situation of this first fight. But a slap, spitting on someone, I think those are the two highest levels of disrespect or embarrassment that would drive people to react. So I could see how this student would respond. Like I said, I would hate for a teacher to slap my child. I don't think it will go down very well. I don't think that I'm going to go down and have a fight with the teacher or anything like that. I would take it very seriously. But I believe that my children would respond if you slap them, to be honest. And I don't know if I would. It's so tricky because I don't know what I would say to my children if they defend, because I don't believe that. Y'all see how tricky this is for me? Because I don't believe that children should put their hands on adults. And I know there's going to come a whole conversation where, oh, but the adult has to, behave like an adult. And I think this is some of the problem that we're facing in the high schools. And I know they keep trying to do trainings and so forth. But, and I think, yes, sometimes the teachers come under a lot of pressure, but I don't know how well they are managing. I don't know how well they are managing and how well they're being trained and what training they're actually undergoing to, control their tempers or control themselves in situations like this. Because if a child says something disrespectful to you, I think you need to probably send the child to the office. There must be, guidelines on how those types of matters are handled, and that you wouldn't just slap a child. And yes, let's just, they're teenagers. They're teenagers. These are young people. So let's do it like that. Okay. So you're slapping a teenager, while another teen would probably walk away, take it home to the parent, and the parent might take it from there. Another child is going to fight back. I believe my children would respond in an unfavorable manner. I think I slapped my daughter once, and I think I was really mad. But I don't necessarily put my hands on my children, but they'll try to tell people, oh, how I tried to kill them when they were younger. But, the fact that they don't get any licks, if they get one belt over their butt, they'll probably see that as, mommy's trying to kill them. But I don't know. Somebody's saying something here, and I kind of want to feel like I agree with that. If a teacher slapped a child, that teacher is wrong and should be suspended immediately. An inquiry is to be conducted and the appropriate action taken. Now, like I said, I agree. I don't think that I don't think that should have happened. I really do not think that that should have happened without knowing whatever transpired, what the student said to the teacher. I don't think she should have slapped the child. Okay. So I got this information last night. So I want to inquire, and it clearly the school is very quiet about it. The education department is quiet about it. They wish it would go away, as in everything. So I don't necessarily know if they have dealt with the matter, if the teacher was suspended, if the student was suspended. I don't know. But there was a full on fight yesterday at the Elmo Stout High School between a teacher, a female teacher, and a female student. Okay. All right. So there was another fight at the Elmo Stout High School yesterday. Again, this one was between a teacher and a student. And this one was a female teacher and a male student. And so apparently the male student was caught with a cell phone, and the teacher roughed up the child. I guess color up the child or whatever. And the male student, responded in kind. So it's seeming like, one, the teachers are not, as I understand it, the teachers are not supposed to put their hands on the students any longer. There's no more, we call it corporal punishment. And so it seemed that it could very well seem that teachers are now at a frustrated point because they somehow don't have control, or I want to say command respect in their classrooms, and that could make you very frustrated. And so again, we go back to, clearly they were unable to control themselves, these two teachers, in these two scenarios. Okay, so in both instances, it appears the teachers were the ones to initiate physical contact with these students, and the students, we can say, defended themselves. Yes, I know the teachers aren't crazy. It must have a reason. Children are killing adults now, be real. Yeah, yeah, teenage children, yes, yes, they're killing adults. I don't see what that has to do with that. So I'm telling you that. So if you weren't listening, the teachers drew first blood. They're the ones who made physical contact, as I'm understanding it, with these students first. Okay. In the teacher too, female student fighting, apparently the student said something to the teacher, and she became irate because it was offensive. I don't know what she said to the teacher, and this is what I'm understanding. And the teacher responded by slapping the student, and the student responded by defending herself. Okay, she defended herself from being slapped. Again, I consider being slapped, being spat on, people don't take those things lightly. Those are embarrassing, demeaning, and people don't respond well to those two things. You slap me, you spit on me. You hit me, I might walk away and be like, you know what? But if you slap me, there could be a confrontation, right? So, in the other instance, as I said, with the male student and the female teacher, he had a cell phone in class. Now, I don't know if these are repeated behaviors and the teachers are constantly talking and they came to their wits' end. Again, you're dealing with children, you're dealing with teenagers, so a lot of patience is required. A lot of patience is required. But at the end of the day, nobody's Jesus. Even Jesus ran out of patience and he beat the people out of the synagogue and he turned up tables for them in there trading on the Sabbath, right? In the synagogue. So everybody has a breaking point. So again, I don't know like the full details of exactly what happened. But it was student responding to the aggression of a teacher. Okay? I didn't say anybody threatened anybody. I said the student said something disrespectful and the teacher slapped her. I don't know about any threats. I don't know about any threats or anything like that. I haven't heard about any threats. Okay? So I'm bringing it to you guys exactly how I got it. There were 2 fights in the school yesterday, and they both involved teachers, both female teachers, 1 female student and 1 male student, and those children apparently reacted to being touched in some manner. So while we're talking about this, I want to talk about this, and people are gonna know who I'm talking about. Again, I know the 2 teachers that were in these altercations. I'm not prepared to put out their names right now because I want to get some more information. So, yeah, I'm not prepared to give out any names in this moment. There's a principal or one of the principals that were at the BVI High School. And this principal, like, I've had a lot of complaints about this principal. Okay. And this principal is close to people that are close to me. And so I've always kind of managed, how I deal with her situation. And her and I have had a couple blow-ups before. I don't speak to her now. She doesn't speak to me, and I don't really care because but they have moved her. They have moved her because they actually wanted to retire her, send her home. And clearly, you know how politicians and politics always get involved, and somehow instead of sending her home, they sent her over to the technical school. And based on my descriptions, people are gonna know exactly who I'm speaking about. But this particular principal, and I don't want to say that her way of teaching and handling students is old-fashioned. Some of it is, but I don't want to sum all of it up to that. I think she has a lot of hatefulness in her, this particular principal. She has a lot of hatefulness in her. She has a lot of jealousy tendencies. This is how I look at her from being in close proximity to her, from dealing with her. I think she lies and she's a disruptor. That's how I want to describe her. She's a disruptor. So quite often, we're ready to say, oh, children are rude, but it's the way that you handle children. And some people believe that because it's a child, and when I say a child, a young child, a teenager, in the whole spectrum of what we consider children, anything under 18. Okay? We believe that they have no rights. We can speak to them however we want. We can handle them however we want. We don't have to respect them in any capacity. And I don't see it as that. And I think a lot of we call it modern day parents. Myself, I consider myself a modern day parent. And then any, parent that's even younger than me. Okay? Or consider us modern day parents in the way we think in terms of punishment for our children and so forth and so forth. But She's one of those principals that just who she is toxic. Is toxic to children and teenagers. The way she handles herself, handles situations, her grumpy, misdemeanor, the way she talks to people. And I want people to understand, like, that might be your personality, but I don't have to fucking deal with it. And a teenager doesn't have to deal with it. It's like we talk about customer service all the time, right? And we always say if you have a problem, leave it at home. Don't bring it to people's front of house, which we call, front of the business in customer services position, whether receptionists, waitresses, like anybody dealing with people, you call them front of house. Don't bring whatever you're dealing with there to take it out on anybody. And she is that type of teacher. And she's also the type of teacher and principal. And I'm going to just call her educator. Let's just refer to them as educators. Okay? She's the type of educator. If she doesn't like you, she'll take it out on your child. She'll take it out on your child. Okay? So when they should have retired her, they should have retired her last school year. I believe it was 2024. I believe it was 2024, 2023. They were trying to retire her, probably both years, and they couldn't get rid of her. Although they love to say, send me home, I could go home until it's time to go home. So they relocated her from the high school, and they put her over there. Let me take Hull's call. And they sent her, morning Hull, and they sent her over to the technical school. Morning, Hull. How are you?
Good morning.
How are you, darling?
Not too bad. I listening to you speaking about children and fighting school. I would like to ask you this question: how many parents does visit the school and visit the teachers them to know how the children behaving in school, and also have a meeting with them? Because Cindy and tell you so, as you say, modern parents today, we have some rude ass children today who don't have no respect at home. Okay? And the parents them can't correct them at home. Is you yourself have to go up the school, sit down, and know what's going on, and tell the children the truth about the behavior at home. We can't be knocking it. You know what I used to tell Ainan Karim? I used to be at the high school, the teacher stopped on them, visiting them, drop them off. And I asked them how they're doing. You know what I used to tell them? Teacher them done learn already. Okay? And I don't want to hear no nonsense coming from you. A lot of us, as parents, do not visit the school until either they meet pass or something, and somebody want to go and fight out the teachers them, and then sit down and hear what the issue is.
But Hull, let's do this. Let's do this, right? Because that's a conversation that we hear all the time. But if we have to think about it, right? What percentage of parents actually don't visit the school, whether it's for the PTA meetings, etc.? What percentage we think don't visit the school? And even if a percentage don't visit the school, and I spoke about, we have to bring up, what's going on in the house as well, in the home as well. However, Hull, it doesn't matter what's going on in the home. Teachers are supposed to know how to deal with situations. And I can't think of any reason why a teacher would slap a child unless that child put their hands on the teacher first. And even then, she should control herself a bit, unless it has escalated to a situation where she actually absolutely needs to defend herself. So that whole conversation about, the teachers already learn and you need to learn, that don't mean that they need to take advantage of your children and treat your children like animals because they have something that the child needs.
Listen, I did not statement. All what I said, okay, and I say it clear for the public to hear. Okay, some of us have some children whom do not have this respect. I did not say the teacher.
And I agree with you.
The teacher, listen, I did not say the teacher write what they say she do or whatever. You go up the school and find out the situation, and that's where you see me. Anything I hear or whatever, I ask question, and then you get a lot of answers what take place. Because it's like your child hit first, come on run to you, like some of them run to the mother because they know the mother will back them up and don't ask a question and go the wrong course. And then when you find out that you tried wrong, and that's what we need to do. We need to go to the school, and also you who bring in these shows need to go up there and investigate what's going on among these issues, because sometimes we get pepper sauce, and the person who here we supported the wrong, and this. Listen, let me tell you something. Today, which I tell you, the children don't have no respect at all in school, and I seriously, and I tell other people, okay, who even have children who brought children here from other country, and I say, listen, let me tell you something. I mother here, bring you here to better yourself, not go to school to disrespect and go on like the others. They bring you here to better yourself in school. Don't follow them because you don't get the treatment. But my thing is, see, I had to call you because, which I said, they need to investigate. Parents need to go up there and find out what take place. I said the teacher ran and slapped because I was slap Oyana, I was slap Carrie, I was slap him at all. That's offensive to me. I used to like the licks with a belt. That's correct with a belt, but not slapped.
But that's what I was saying, Joe Jack, right? That, things are going to happen. But there are two things that people consider very insulting, very demeaning. That's a slap, and if someone spits on you. People react differently when those things happen.
But as a mother and parent, we need to be going to the school, and when these kind of things happen, get involved and ask what happened. Because some of us are afraid to tell the truth about our children, how they disrespectful at home. And a lot of them is disrespectful at home. They no butter, no if. They give the parents them bad word. And if them hide the behavior, tell you the truth. And that's what some of them are carrying in school. You have to deal with them from young. When children go in school with earring, this and that and all kind of thing, you think you come tell me as a minor you go in school with it, Mr. Nayo, that's what happened to this world, Because a lot of we home don't correct our children, don't get involved. It's a lot of nonsense we have to talk about children today. We only go to school when they fail a grade to find out why they fail a grade. We only go to school when something. Otherwise, we don't go at all. Listen, when Carrie was small, Carrie would tell me, Daddy, we have teacher parents meeting now. And you, please go. I got one parent. I used to go.
Well, okay, Joe Jack, Joe Jack. Again, we don't know at this point, what the ratios of parents going to the school or not. When school has PTA, I don't make all the PTAs. And I'm telling you, parents are not going to make all the PTAs because especially if you're a single parent, it's a lot. Okay? It's easier when it's two parents and one can call out of work and one can go and switch up times and so forth, right? And even in those cases, parents are not going to always be able to make it. But when they have those PTA meetings at the start of like the school year, a lot of parents turn out. Okay, and if my child is not behaving in school, you need to let me know that. You need to let me know that. So I would go down to school and deal with the students. And I'm going to be fair. We know that there are unruly parents, which lead to unruly students. And we know that parents that they're not unruly, but they really feel like their children are saints and they don't want anybody to talk to their children. All of those things, we need more community mindedness when it comes to our children. And I think that that's why they're struggling the way they're struggling. But I am going to say, sticking in this instance, and I'll actually, anyway, I'm not going to say that. Once I do what I have to do, I'll give an update. Maybe tomorrow. Well, I won't be on tomorrow, on Thursday or something. But I'm understanding, of course, the students are suspended, and I'm going to find out if the teachers are suspended as well. Okay? Because personally, I think the teachers should be suspended because teachers shouldn't be fighting or initiating fights with students, and they should be on the job. I don't believe that.
You need to, as you say, you need to investigate this issue, and also the both parents need to go down to school and sit down with the same youngster. Father, mother, I don't know a father thing because a lot of we father, sometimes I push me away from being involved with the child and tell you the truth. Some I don't want me be involved with the children. So, but father have to play a role also. I'm gonna let them get away. Of course. We agree with all of those things. Because y'all knock us off, we should stick back and leave the child up to them, the young man or young daughter up to themselves.
What do you mean knock us off? Listen, I don't even want to go into that conversation right now because I'm not going to take up my whole show talking about that because we could talk about that in some deep ways. Okay? Men in this society are very childish, immature, unaccountable, and irresponsible.
So,
that's all I'm going to say about that today.
Okay. But investigate on the issue.
I am. I already have some of the sites reaching out to me so that they could share their sites, and I'm open to hearing everybody. I try to be as fair as possible. But from where we sit in this moment, no teacher should put their hand on a child first. If those are the rules and guidelines, you shouldn't. And if you do, and a fight unfolds, then I think all involved need to be suspended, not just the students.
Because until it's in the 2 months hours to go off of here, say, and that's it. Until when you go and hear on both sides to a meeting, then you understand which I just tell you. I didn't agree for nobody. Even to parents at home.
Sorry.
Chatting and slap a little child or whatever. That I don't believe in it. But again, investigate on this issue because, which I said, a lot of us got some rude ass children home who don't have no respect for a lot of us at home, and they feel like they can go to school with the same dirty behavior at the school and behave to the teachers them that way because we ain't teaching them the right things to us because they will box us down home, and then when we go to school we can be free to tell them the behavior at home.
Something, Georgette. You might find one or two young people who you just can't get them under control, and it's really like they're dealing with a lot, whether it be home, all sorts of things going on in their personal life. But you know what I have found out? Really and truly, the way you handle and deal with young people dictates how they're going to deal with you, no matter how rude they are. And when you stand firm and they understand, like, listen, that's how I feel. The way you conduct yourself with them is the exact same way they're going to react to you.
with people, deal with them from small. Okay? You don't be with them from small. You get them hard love from small. You love them, you make them show you, I'm the mother. Even if I the one parent, I the mother here.
You set boundaries?
Yes.
Yeah, but beating isn't setting a boundary.
No, listen. Beating, listen. You know how I analyze children? I take away what they love. Say they love sport.
Yeah.
You ain't going to play none.
Yeah, until you start yourself out. Yes.
Right? If you love the laptop, I'm playing laptop, I cut away them these things.
Yeah.
And then when you I overbearing the way I do with you, I get a couple of them.
Yeah.
But the whole bottom line is, then you have to know your children. A lot of us don't know our children because you know why? The children ain't grow up with a lot of us, even as bad.
Okay.
So we don't know the weakness and the strength.
Mm-hmm. But also sometimes, as our children, go through their ages from child to adolescent to teenagers, we also have to be adjusting the way that we handle them, the way we parent, because they growing up, they're learning different things, they going through different growth spurts, puberty, all of these things, and so they're transitioning through a lot of feelings. They're coming into young men and young women, and so they will you'd want to handle them differently. They're looking for more respect and more verbal interaction, and a different type of communication, I should say.
Yeah, because
but some of us, we just look at teenagers like, you're a child, you're a little child, you need to stay in a child's place. You know what I mean?
Cindy, a lot of young, put it this way, a lot of we as parents, right?
Yeah.
Don't realize that as small as a child is, and they're growing up, they watch what you're doing.
Yes.
And you will swear they forget all of that. They grow up how you behave in the house, outside, and they will never say nothing. And some of them, they grow that with in their mind.
Yeah.
And we don't understand why they behave so, because you see, daddy against mommy against daddy, and all them kind of things. So, so some of these things just create some of these. They only gonna say these things when they get big. I tell you. When you and them sit on a table and they start to tell you these things.
True.
But
or they'd also tell you, if you give them the opportunity to do so and not look at them as, well, you're just a child, stay out of it. Communication is anyway. Thank you for calling. And feel free to call back if I touch on something else that you need to talk about.
No, yesterday I didn't get to touch on this something because my phone was behind time. I didn't know you were going to finish the show because I don't want to call in and touch the topic what you want, which you tell me about, but I forget it anyhow.
Okay, I'll get back to it today, and you can call back.
Yeah.
So I'll wrap up on the school.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. So. So, I've been getting some messages, and I'm going to hear from both sides of both of these fights. And I'll say this, I'll say this to be, I don't want to use the word to be fair. I'm going to say this, right? We all have feelings, and we all go through a lot of things. And so it's important, for ongoing, whether it's therapy. Hear me here giving advice about therapy. So many people tell me to go into therapy, but they'll never see me. But anyway, whether it's, therapy, constant training, like for the teachers, because even the teachers, they go through a lot too at the schools, right? And what I'm going to say is one of the teachers, she went through something with some of the young girls at the same high school. I think it was probably a couple years back, 2 school years back, or a year and a half, where they released these videos out of her phone. So, would she be, in a space where she feels like I'm not going to accept any disrespect from any of these children? Definitely. Can I condone that she slapped this young lady and the young lady retaliated? I'm telling you, like, I could only say if it was my children, I think they would have retaliated too. And I think anybody would react. An adult would retaliate if you slap me. If you're talking to me and I say the wrong thing to you and you feel like you have to put your hand on me and slap me, you're asking for trouble. In any situation, that's asking for trouble. Even with teenagers, these are young girls now coming into their womanhood, whether we want to accept it or not. They're coming into their womanhood, and we have to be mindful of how we're dealing with them. They're going to react, they're going to respond. And so those two things happened yesterday. I'm going to take some of the comments here. I wanted to do that. I don't want to, leave out the comments. So the teacher's role is to report violations to where they're supposed to report. A teacher may only get physically confrontational only in the case of self-defense, and these incidents are to be investigated appropriately. And I totally understand. I agree. I guess when I'm talking about the principal for the technical school, somebody said if she's like that, then why keep her in these schools teaching? Well, you know how that works. It's all about politics. Someone else says, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Adults need to set the right example with regard towards violence. Okay. Hold on. Children of today don't have to carry out goats, sheep, and cows to pasture before they go to school. Well, that's very true. Well, at least we hope so. My grandchildren might, because by that time I'll have a farm and they'll have to do all of that before they go to school. So we'll be reversing. Oh my God. Yes. So, again, as I know it, I think, both students may be both students might be on suspension as I'm understanding it. One for sure I know is on suspension. I don't know if the teachers have been suspended. Once I come off the phone, I'm going to try to follow up. Like I said, I got this information last night. My morning started very early because I woke up to a surprise, and then so I haven't been able, and then like I said, I had to drop my son to school, so I haven't really been able to call people as much as I would have wanted to have further information on these incidents. And then so as we go back to this principal, this educator that has now been placed at the technical school, and there she is, and there you are, getting the same complaints, the way she deals with people. She's giving people anxiety, other staff members, other educators, young trainees, the students, I just don't know. Maybe it's just time to just sit at home, like, give the system a break from her. Give the system a break from her. And to me, sometimes this is where you complain, and then you have no out, and then something bad happens. And then the person that does the bad, they becomes, the enemy. They're the big enemy after they've tried their best to get matters resolved, and they just can't. And they just can't. So, that particular principal, I don't know what they're gonna do with her. But as complaints come into me, I think the next time I talk about her, I'm gonna give a full dose on her, because I think it's time that they sent her out of the system and sent her on retirement and let her go and rest herself and take a break. Because her attitude, the way she handles people, and again, She's not very truthful, and I could say that based on an incident that I had with her. And she is a disruptor. She's a disruptor. So on that note, I'm gonna take a quick break because I gotta give some love to my sponsors. We're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come right back.
Good morning, good morning. Rise and shine nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leaders' seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. A chance undone in pound and two. Electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education. Youth, them future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability. She hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight. So you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul. Information is power. Take control. Grab your bush tea. Clear your head. Start your day. Properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Daily talk show. Daily talk show. Covering the issues. It drops an up higher. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. From sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong minds, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. From sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong minds, strong people, stronger land. Before you step out, before you decide, get the facts in the morning and walk with pride. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leaders' seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it.
We are back. I don't know if I like my outfit today. And I don't know if I like my outfit today. And believe it or not, my hair, these braids are so long, I'm always sitting on them. I'm always pulling my hair back. Anyway, let's get back to the juice. And also let me give the lunch specials for today. At the pub lunch specials today. You have Kong soup, small and large, and you have spicy coconut steak rice bowl. Yummy. We have stewed chicken, pan salmon with coconut curry sauce, meatballs, pasta bake. Yummy. Their sides are peas and rice, macaroni pie, island style coleslaw, and sauteed vegetables. And from tomorrow, I'll try to put their menus up into the ad spaces so that you can see what they're having. And of course, as I mentioned yesterday, and it's again today, you get a drink with your lunch, and that's a non-alcoholic drink. Okay, you little alcoholics, you get a drink with your lunch. Okay, with your lunch order. For these, which is located upstairs, frozen imports, you have baked chicken wings, salmon in butter sauce, yum yum, stew beef, and stew pork. And their sides, you have white rice, yellow rice, steamed vegetables, macaroni pie, and corn on the cob. Alrighty. So those are the menus. As we complete the show, I'll bring them out again. Okay, I'll update them again. But moving forward, I'll try to, see if I can get them in good time so I can put them up on the screen running through the show. All right. All right. Somebody said that Joe Jack needs to understand that time has changed. So, yeah. Alrighty. So, okay, let's continue. So we've covered St. Thomas, we've covered the school fights, that principal thing, which is a part of okay, I want to touch on something before I move away from the students in the school situation. And it came to my mind while Joe Jack was speaking to me. I think that, well, I mean, as humans, we love to label people anyway. But I think that we label students too much and we put them in boxes. And, for example, if a child might be troublesome in school, and I think this happens very often, the child might be troublesome and we kind of relegate the child to a corner or put them in a box where we decide, oh, they're troublesome. We don't try to figure out exactly what this child is going through, what they have to bear out at home. And I keep saying, like, the way children are raised is not the children's fault. It's not their problem. It's ours. We as adults, we ruin children. And then, the situation is more dire when it's what we say, young people raising young people, right? And now age doesn't determine how mature you are or whatever. But for me, I always determine like by 30, I don't know where to come up with these numbers, but in my head, a number comes up and that's what I'm going to go with. And I determined at 30 was when I felt I would be in a mental space and in any space to be able to have children, right? To be able to raise a child properly, be able to share anything with a child that would make sense. Because as you're growing, you're studying, you're doing all of these things, it's hard to have another human to try to bring along with you. Now, sometimes things happen and you have no choice but to figure it out. But I've spoken before about what I feel are demands that are even put on young people by the time they finish school. They're 18, they're 21. You got parents saying, oh, when are you going to give me a grandchild? Like this child barely understands who she or he is as a person. I mean, so children are never really in control of how they are raised, unfortunately. And then when they become adults, they try to figure out, what's wrong, what's right, where I want to end up. And for some, it's just really too late and they get themselves caught up in bad companies. They end up in jail. They end up in all sorts of ways that they shouldn't end up in, right? But back to what I was saying about labeling children. Sometimes we got to look deeper because children come into your classrooms and, they're troublesome. And instead of trying to figure out how can I reach this child? We put them in a basket, a box, relegate them to the back, whatever, label them. Oh, he's troublesome. So if he's failing, I don't really care. I know he'll get an F anyway. Blah, 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 blah. Right? And again, I always go back to how small this territory is, how small this community is. And I feel like we can all do better. And I want to encourage parents. I want to encourage parents to, allow other people in. Be mindful of who those people are, but, let the community help raise your child. I always say that I'm grateful, although there are some people I really want to tell about themselves and I'll leave it there. But I always say that I'm grateful for the community around my children and that I allow to be able to call me if they see my children doing anything. Hugh Anthony, as a big man, if he's driving on a bike and he doesn't have on a helmet or he's speeding, people feel very comfortable to call me. And I feel like we need that as parents, period. We need that for our children. We need other people, other adults, others looking out for our children. And I think they'll get in less trouble. The community would be better. I know it's hard. People and this is such a big subject. It's such a big subject. I feel like I want to open it out even more and have people to come to a round table and really have this conversation, because I don't know if y'all realize whenever I'm talking about the young people, I get very emotional because there's a lot going on and I can't help all of them. I want to, but I can't. But even parents that push away help, they're doing that for a reason, because when you step up to help a family, the whole world needs to know that you don't keep their business private. We just have a lot of work to do when it comes to our young people and our children and where they are. The young moms, even the older moms like me, none of us can do it on our own. And like I said, it's important to have a community around you. And people that you can trust. And we need to learn to start being trustworthy. If something is shared with you, if you brought in on something with a family, you're helping the family, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. We have a lot of things that are just falling apart around the young people, and they need a lot of help. Families need a lot of help. And yeah, so I wanted to say that. Try to help students more than. Is the live sticking? Are we good? Let me know if we're having any problems. Somebody said the live is sticking. Yeah, so let's try more. Let's try more as a community to be more involved in the young people's lives, and let's do it intentionally, responsibly, and be accountable about it. All right. Okay, so we can move on to the next thing. So we go back to this immigration conversation. But okay, let's go back to the immigration conversation. And while we're here, I want to say, register your young people to vote. I turned it into, oh my God, he's calling. I turned it into politics really quickly, but it's not politics. It's another thing that we need to absolutely do for our young people. We need to engage them and help them to understand their civic duty, because all of us have civic duties, right? And so registering to vote, give me 1 second, hold. Registering to vote is a very important civic duty for all of us. And when we reach the age of 18, our parents, the adults around us, we have to encourage our young people to vote, and that's important. And I'm not saying it because there's an election coming up or they have to go out and vote. The point is, if they register to vote and they get involved, then they have the opportunity to vote because they registered. If you're not registered, you can't vote. So it's important to encourage our young people when they reach the age of 18, explain to them their civic duty, make sure they understand what's going on in the country, have these conversations with them because, at the end of the day, whether we want to accept it or not, yes, young people are dying too, but the older people are dying, we're going to die and we're going to go on, and they have to understand what's going on. It's a part of their adult life, right? It's a part of their adult life. And how do we know who ends up running for politics? Okay, so it's a very important part of our young people's civic duty as they become young adults heading into adulthood, that they understand that they should be registered to vote, and that they should make their way to do that. I'm rounding up some of them. I don't want to make them sound like, animals, but I'm like, you guys got to go register. Whether you're going to vote or not, you don't know that in a year. You don't know. Just make sure you're registered to vote so that you actually have the opportunity or the choice to, if it happens that there's an election and you feel like, oh my God, I should have registered because I want to vote. Just go and register. It's not going to take anything off of you. It's a very important civic duty. So if you have young people in your house, if you know young people that are of age, find out if they are registered to vote and take them and show them how to be registered. If their parents don't have the time, you do it. You take them. Okay? Because whichever direction this territory or any country is going, they have to be a part of that. They have to be a part of that. So educate them, encourage them, highlight the importance of being registered to vote. When you Anthony made 18, boom, he had to go register to vote. Amari's going to be 18 in November, and he's going to go register to vote. Let me see if his birthday is on a day in the week. He might be in school. But yeah, once he turns 18, he has to register to vote. So his birthday is on a weekend. So, yeah, it's important. It's important. We have to, train up a child. And that is actually part of training up a child, for them to understand their civic duty, where they fall in being a responsible citizen. All of that has to do with, the way they conduct themselves, the way they think about other people, the way they understand that they're not the only people that live in the space, and so forth, and how they care for their society. All of that is their civic duty to understand. And registering to vote, being a part of the voting process, understanding how the territory runs, that is very important for them. It's geography, and all those things that we learn in school, right? Civic studies. All righty, Nelson Hall. Hello. You want to take off the immigration conversation? You go first, and I'll follow your lead. I'll see what I have to say after.
No, I call back to you to ask you, what kind of relationship you and your children have, where they don't afraid to come and tell you they have an issue, which a lot of us have children, and they're afraid to come and talk to us if they have a problem.
Yeah.
Do you have that with yours?
Yeah, my children can tell me anything. Sometimes, especially my older son, sometimes I have to be like, okay, that was too much information. I don't need to know that. But yes, we have a very open relationship. And last week I said, like, I'm really struggling with my daughter, and these might be the ways, girls are, females are. So she's a little different to my sons. They will tell me any and everything. And when I tell you any and everything, like any and everything, and she would have to be in a particular mindset. sometimes to share certain things, but I have an open relationship with my children where they know they can share um, anything with me. And they probably say the same thing like other people say, like, I try not to judge, but of course, as parents, sometimes you judge, sometimes you go into the shoes of being a parent, sometimes when they tell you certain things, but it's normal. And then you try to like check yourself. But that's what I was trying to tell you in terms of communication, as they get bigger, they get older, you want to have different type of communication with them and make sure that they could tell you anything.
Yeah, because that's come from young too also.
Yeah.
Where you and them lie down in the bed, interact, and have discussion, and which I said a lot of children today, but they don't have that.
Yeah.
And these are some of the issues, because some of we parents don't be pig. What you asking me that for?
Yeah. Well, long ago, Hall, like, we couldn't really ask them anything. And then when they tell you to do something and you're like, you want to ask them, well, why? Like that? Because I said so. So that's like difficult and silly type of, communication where that comes in like, I'm the parent, so what I say go, like, you don't have any rights, you don't have an opinion, you don't, so yeah.
So these is some of the breakout, and you know what I don't like saying you see how you there speaking, and have people listening to this show, and they listen, but they don't put in their 2 cents, and to make the show great, you have to call in and speak about your issues, what you pass through, and things like that.
Yeah. Well,
and have you speaking about the whole show, all till 11 o'clock. And when they call in, they could. I mean, I listen to what you said. The person said to take a long time. You know who changed things? Ain't no one changed things, It's we, the parents, is who changed things,
Well, yes. Yes.
We did correct the children them when we see them start to do something.
Well, there's a line. I don't even want to say it's a thin line between correction and abuse. And I think that a lot of like I said, the modern day parent, the way that for example, those 2 teachers that I spoke about at Seventh Adventist School, I would not want anybody to beat my children like that, right? So that's where changes come in. Personally, I don't like to be touched. I don't want you to hit me. I'm not going to hit you. Like, I don't like those types of things because that hurts. So why would you feel so comfortable using a belt or just like pummeling your child? And a lot of what we don't understand as Black people, as we talk about colonialism and so forth, we say spare the rod and spoil a child, but it's about respect, because the slave master beat you into submission, and that's where we got this beating thing from. It's not okay to beat your children the way we tend to want to beat our children. And like I said, I would never want to know that a teacher is beating my child like that at school. It is not okay. That is abuse. A lot of ways that we handle our children, and even some things that we say. And I could say I'm guilty of that too, because sometimes we say things. Those things are abusive as well, and mentally abusing for children. So we have a lot to consider and think about when we think about children and thinking that they have no rights, no feelings, like they're robots. They're not. They're not. And all those words and things that you pump into them, that's what they're going to expect. They're going to expect it from a mate. They're going to do it to their children, and a vicious cycle continues.
with Cindy, let me tell you something. We used to wear a Nevia ours, and my brother's son, and he father spoiled him. Spoiled him, and because he know that his father never used to correct him, and when he do something wrong, he used to put water in him, and he father didn't think. And when he come around me now, I was stern and serious. He used to operate different around me than with his father, because I never spoiled him. He from the States, and when he go to school down Carrot Bay, and he behave rude, they will say, I'm going to call your uncle for you, Don't call him. Don't call him.
Yeah, I'm going to behave. Yeah.
Don't call him.
Yeah.
And I used to speak to him. I used to speak to him why so and so. But wrong his father, he do anything wrong. Because he never used to correct him. Since he get big, he disrespect his father.
Yeah.
So these things is from young.
Well, yeah, I agree. I quite agree.
When you allow me, okay, listen this. Can your child go to school with his hair plait without you let him go to school with his hair plait?
No.
Well, let me tell you this. When I used to send Kareem barber shop, and Kareem used to come with the side hair gone and the top lot of hair, I used to go down to the barber shop and say, listen, he does work for this money, So when he come here, can you please cut off his bloody hair for me? Yes. So
I think we're a little freer as parents now. Like, both of my boys have locks in their hair.
Listen.
And it's crazy how times have changed.
Listen, when you finish school and you get to your age, you know where you want. Once you graduate, and that's how I feel. Once you make me feel proud you graduate, you do everything, I feel good that you accomplish the thing them in school. Because when Kareem put in earring, is when he went college. And when he come back with the earring, I said, why you put the earring, boy? They try to throw you out.
Well, okay. Somebody said it might be productive for me to have you in the studio. I'm not sure. I might not be able to control him at all. At least here I could hang up the phone. But listen, you brought me onto something that was a hot topic the other day on social media, right? Local social media. Because, and you reminded me when you said about the earrings, right? Tattoos. You know that students can go to school with tattoos now? So the school sent out a notice showing, what you should have on to hide your tattoos. And so people were like, wait, you could go to school with tattoos? And so a big conversation erupted. Most people were against, I think most that I see, all that I saw were against, students actually, going to school with tattoos or even being able to have tattoos. What are your thoughts? Like, my son wanted a tattoo from time he was in school, and I was like, no, well, as far as I'm concerned, he shouldn't have a tattoo at all, but he's going to make a decision as an adult now, and he made a decision, and I think he got his tattoo maybe a year ago. He's 21 now. I think he did it, at 20 or something like that. But if I had my way, I would, discourage him. And, I told him when he made 21, he could do whatever he wanted.
Well, I tell you,
but
I tell you, when you is a minor, I think you're going to school, you do the right thing, and when you come out, I deal with you, for the school you graduate, everything you're on your own as a young man. Me stay
You
everything.
can do what you want. Yeah.
Right. I would like to see you come out fast, doing well. And when can we come back with the airing? What he tell them? Once my father have no problem with the airing, I don't think nobody should have no problem with me with my airing.
Yeah.
He's the old man. He become a big man. You understand?
Yeah.
He's a big man.
But do you think teenagers should be allowed to go to school with tattoos? If you guys want to chime in, let me know. I don't think so. I don't think students should be allowed in the school period with tattoos. What do you think?
The tattoo part, let me tell you something. If they want to go scrape up them skin, spoil up them skin, that's their business. The tattoo part is a different part game to me. Because I won't go scrape up my skin. But it's what you drop. It's what you put on your skin. It's like gangster reading and them kind of thing. But if you put it up high, where you could hide under your shirt, I don't have no problem with it. But if you create this kind of gangster kind of drawing on your skin where you could see it and you go to school and this is my gang name and things like that. No.
Right.
That's out of the question.
Yeah.
That's out of the question. I won't agree with it at all. Going to school to say, you is a part of this gang. It's not a one he got and he gang name and going to school. What you creating?
Okay. Let me take some of these comments. I'm gonna keep you on the phone because I know you want to talk about the immigration situation. So I'm just gonna take some comments quick. I know parents used to register their children to vote. I don't know about now, but it should continue. Absolutely. My mom told me that we had to vote. And we got registered to vote when we were of the age to vote. Someone said, I agree with you. On the day my daughter turned 18, that was one of her gifts, was to register to vote. And I absolutely agree. Like I say, we should really make it a part of them becoming an adult. And I guess back in the day it was so important for us and we understood what it took to be able to even vote. And those are lessons in history that I think that should not be lost on our young people. So when I say that they're lost, like they don't know a lot of the things that we knew at their age. And I don't know if we're too busy, but we don't find it important enough to like pass on those things to them. Like a lot of our young people in the BVI really have no idea of BVI history, They have no idea. They're just like in this world where life started with them. But anyway, that's another big conversation to have. So yeah. Somebody, Roger say in his day he used to get some electric wires, and I could tell you now how he said he didn't feel abused and he got straightened out from his mother quick. I don't know. My mother used to like to hit. My father didn't like that. But when my father had enough of you and he was going to beat you, you were going to get beat. But
well, he said electric wire. Listen, a cop stick I use again.
let me ask you a question. Let me say this. Yeah. Because I think we just get a little mistaken. The only right you have to bear tattoos thing is an adult when you can make that decision. Okay, you can't say it's a breach of that individual's rights. If the tattoos are for symbolic reasons like some kind of religious something, okay, yes, that's the only breach of right that will come in there. Period. Period. If it's going against their religious values, and you have to show that. You know, like how when Jehovah Witness in school, they couldn't take part in worship and stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay, so you understand those things. The Rastafarian, well, now they open up and you could, plait your hair and go to school, and you could lock your hair and go to school. But before, you had to show due that it was going against some individual right. And I'm pretty sure we don't have any of those religious views here as it relates to tattoos and so forth, as far as I know.
Okay.
So let's get on to immigration.
No, I want to tell you something. What could go as history, right? As a quiz. Let me tell you this goes back as history. It should be history in the video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you the question now. Okay. Give me the name, right? Of a political party, right? Where a minister went to court, was accused, and the judge tell that minister to corrupt. Number one, I know history now. Number two,
oh,
give me the name.
The live is definitely sticking right now.
Okay. Give me the name.
Go ahead.
Second, give me the name of a political party, right? First time in history where a premier of the BPI was convicted, and the name of the premier and place where he was
wait, hold on a second, Jack. Wait, let's pause for a second. I think that the live is sticking. Yeah. Hold on, okay? Hold on. put it back on. Okay, we good now?
Sorry, I just had to get your mic.
All right, sorry about that. I think we had a little freeze there in the and we had to thing. So I apologize. Let me get Joe Jack back on the phone. I cut him off a few times. So let me just get him back real quickly. All right, so sorry about that. We had a bit of a issue with the internet, so I had to restart the whole thing. And thank God for systems like these. Although I had to refresh, I didn't lose the live. So sorry about that, Joe Jack. So go ahead with what you were saying.
Okay.
Your conversations from history.
Okay, in history, because every morning they ask the children about the history in the BVI and things like that, right?
Right.
So I said, let me see if they will roll with this one with what I'm going to say. Some might like what I'm going to say,
Mm-hmm.
Which I said that give me the name of a political party, right? Where a minister went to court and the judge told that minister,
Yeah.
he is corrupt. Number one. And then the second one, give me the name of a political party, the first time in history where a premier of the BVI is incarcerated, and the name of the premier and the country that he is incarcerated, and if he indigenous. That's history.
But why you have to say if he's indigenous?
No, because that's the way you all be going these days. Who indigenous or indigenous? But my thing is, if we want to live on that bad thing, but that two piece, there is history, Cindy.
They are. And you'd be surprised that the young people are growing so fast, they wouldn't even know. So it is actually history. So what was told to you that it's not
No, because
what? Look, somebody said, Joe Jack, that is not a question for morning devotion quiz. Why not? It's history.
Listen, this is history. This is something the children will know down the line. And these are the things. Cindy.
But I get why there will be. I guess this people are still offended and you know about that stuff. So they see it as history right now.
It's history. You understand? I know somebody I like to hear it, but all of these things is history, and I continue hearing them speak about materials. They speak about other people. Why you can't ask them that same question?
Yeah.
You understand? It's not offended. It's something that you make up. It's something that you make, you know. It is what takes place. You understand? That's my thing.
Yeah. So, Roger, listen, Roger, here's my response to what you're trying to say. Nobody said that that children and so forth don't have rights. I've spent most of the morning saying that they have rights too. I'm saying having a tattoo, right, is a right for an adult to make unless you can show that, you know, I need to have this tattoo in school and showing that it's going against some kind of religious belief or something. That's what I'm saying. So, you know, not going against people's rights, establishments and organizations and all of these things have rules and regulations. And if you feel like, you know, you come inside of my house, in my house have rules and regulations that you can't abide by, then you can exit stage left. And that's, we can't forget those things, right? We can't confuse things. All right. So maybe that's why the private schools do a little better than the public schools because there are rules and regulations that you need to abide by. All right. And nobody's trying to go against your rights or whatever. But everything is not all right. Yeah, it's a right for you to do what you want as an adult, but in your own space.
Okay,
If that was clear enough to understand. So we winding down thing, but I want to have the immigration conversation with you because I know you're knitting about it in some of the things I said yesterday. So go ahead and then I can chime in.
Let me ask you this question. Where you trying to born?
One of my oldest son was born here at Peebles Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And the other two were born in the Cayman Islands.
Okay. What do you call those two born in Cayman Islands?
So my children take on a lot of fronts. They're Virgin Islanders, they're Caymanians, and they're French descent. And nothing is wrong with carrying all. So let's just be clear about that.
Okay, so let's be clear about now. The children that born by us, expat, what do you call them? Born here by
So
the half a one and the whole one. What do you call it?
First of all, the BVI doesn't have half a ones. The BVI has Virgin Islanders and belongers, period. Whoever wants to dance up and dance around can feel however they want. And then you have, children born by expats or whatever. So I just want to be very clear with you about something, right? So my children have French status because I'm part French and their grandparents on my grandfather on my side are French. So they have those rights. Okay. My son, well, he was born here. And I'm a Virgin Islander. He's 9th generation Virgin Islander. His grandmother, great grandmother, whatever, Virgin Islander. So he got those rights. He wasn't born here. And so because he was born here, he got those rights. He got those rights through descent. It's the same thing with Cayman. They got their rights through descent because Cayman laws are the same literally as ours. Because you're born in Cayman, you're not a Caymanian. You go through the same process that you're going through here in the Virgin Islands. And in most places, that's exactly how it is. Well, can I ask you for St. Kitts? If my child is born in St. Kitts, are they automatically a Kittitian?
Yeah, they get rights.
How?
They get the rights. You can get a passport from up there.
So, be very clear with what I said. If I go to St. Kitts to have a child, it's automatically Kittitian?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Only here I see y'all.
No. The United States of America is one of the only places that where you're born is where you're from.
Okay. Listen now. You know, with the COI had this recommendation where those guys could have correct his issue about this Barney and passport issue, and they turned it down. Did you know about that? Which they said was England issue, and it came a bigger issue because they turned it down where that was one of the COI where they could correct everything, but they did not. Remember when they had a confusion between the opposition side and the government side, and the rest of them turned down from correcting it.
Explain.
With this, they had the past where they could have said, okay, honorable might want to get up and say if it's time to get it, between them the passport or whatsoever. When they had a debate, okay, and he speak on it twice time. He said the only person who was for it was the premier, and the rest of them turned down where they could have do something about it, and they did not. Okay, that was one of the COI. And let me ask you another thing again. You think a child who went home with a parent, okay, small, get big educated, come back to where they're born, they should be getting time from immigration making them feel like them is not a part of where they born? Cindy?
So let me say this how it's supposed to be said, right? If they had the opportunity to fix it and they didn't, we have to understand the reasons why. Okay. And I'm pretty sure there were pressures by Virgin Islanders, belongers. And you know what I've learned, Hull? That persons who have come to be belongers in the Virgin Islands, they are more hard and fast against this than we who are Virgin Islanders are. That's one. I wanted to tell you that. Two, if the law of the land is the law of the land, you shouldn't want us to bend over backwards to go against the law of the land unless the law of the land was changed.
But I just tell you.
No, the law wasn't changed. It wasn't changed. So go ahead.
This is one of the recommendations. They have to deal with the constitution. What they going to sit down with this one of them. You understand? This is one of them.
And you know what, Judge Jack? It's not going to happen. I can tell you that.
Okay, let me say this to you. Go and do the statistic out there and see how many children out there who doing so good in the BVI. See where the parents from that you
Judge Jack.
Yes.
What we're not gonna do is have a stupid conversation, right? I'm gonna call it stupid because let me tell you why it is stupid. It is stupid because you're trying to say, oh, if they're not from here, they're brighter than who's from here. That's not where you want. Yes, that's not where you want to act. Yes. So then you have to be careful how you use the words that you're throwing in there. Okay.
I did not say. I said, look who it is out there. They born here, and you see they will knock down people from fight for here, and with them being shutting out of where they born. When the band they getting locked out, and if in the constitution where you see they going up, they go do. They can get shut out and certain things they can't do. When the band in the country where the band.
Well, listen to me. I do not believe that where you're born is where you're from. That's just me, and I've made that very clear before. I also feel that way because small islands like the BVI, they just can't sustain it. Now, if you have the opportunity to be born here, and the laws are that by 10, you can become a citizen or apply for residency, and then by 18, you will be given full status. I don't have a problem with that. The rules should be followed. Now, there's something that we always miss, right? Hull, if I couldn't get a Cayman passport for my child, you think I would care? You think I would care?
You must care.
No, I don't care. Because, yes, their father is Caymanian. So what am I, chopped liver? They have to be able to get a BVI passport. So you guys keep like forcing all of this on the BVI. So where these parents are from, they don't accept their offsprings?
Listen.
No. Just you answer my question. I give you a chance to talk. I'm asking you something that makes sense. These children are born here. But where their parents are from, do they not get any rights there? And to me, that's why you should be making noise about, because how can anybody in the Virgin Islands, given my history and where I come from, try to tell me that I can't get a passport here, my child can be a Virgin Islander? I will fight that down to the hilt. So that's what you need to be fighting for. So yes, I get it. The children are growing up here, and by 10, they get status or residence leading into status. And if they're unable to get a passport here, can they not get a passport from their parents' place?
Okay.
But the BVI passport, the access to the UK, the access to the US, it's much better. You have to understand the conversation you want to open up here, and we have to be real about it. Don't act as if we're like these monsters. Because these children, their parents come from somewhere, so they must have rights to those places. That's why I said to you, my children are born in Cayman. Their father is Caymanian, so they get Caymanian status outright, not because they were born in Cayman. But if my children couldn't get anything over there, they have to be able to get home here by me, where I'm from. And I was very adamant, and my children ended up being born in Cayman because I couldn't travel back and forth to have the last two. But if I could, it's right. I was adamant my children had to be born in the BVI. When I was having Hugh Anthony, people were like, oh, you need to go to Puerto Rico or St. Thomas or whatever. I'm like, why? Why? And that's one of the reasons too I was comfortable having them in Cayman, because they also had that British status that I was fine with.
Cindy, you think it's fine? You think it's fine that where you born, you will be neglected to things that say you want to do business in the BVI and you can't do it?
But you're not neglected. You're not neglected because the chances are, Nelson Hall, the chances are, if you are born in the BVI by 10, you're going to get residence. By 18, you're going to get status. You can't get a trade license, I think, before you reach 18. So what is your point that they can't do business? That's not true.
Cindy, listen this here. So let me say this again. So when election time come, who you asking to vote for you? In the same children who you give out on a hard time and things like that?
Hal, I feel like you're encouraging lawlessness in a nation that, yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're encouraging lawlessness in a nation of laws. And when, Herrick, no, you be real. You be real. When I get up and I come from my country into another man's country, I understand the immigration laws. And if I don't want to abide by those laws and I do contrary, and then when you want something else from the law, you already broke it here, so you can't correct it here. You cannot blame the same country because you can't get what you want. Isn't that some sick ass entitlement though? Don't you think?
Listen,
do you think or not? You're encouraging lawlessness in a nation of laws.
I'm standing up for the right. The youngsters.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're encouraging wrong. You're encouraging wrong. That's what you're doing.
No, let me give a scenario. What happened to a lady? Just like what you speak about, from Minister Long time used to run out people rather than running bush. Sometimes the lady then afraid to go to doctors. You know what a minister from one of them country did a lady? She went home with a children them. They said they put me out. You know what the minister said? You could stay now. Send back them children with the barn. The barn Tatola.
Well, you know what? She should be fighting for her rights, for her children from where she came from. So, that's not a BVI problem.
And then, you know what happened? When they put them on the plane,
correct, Roger. Correct, Roger. There is a process that none of us are denying.
So, Cindy, it was nice starting with you, but I will never stop.
Well, you don't have to stop, but I could tell you in no time, in no hurry, that, being born here is going to make you automatically a Virgin Islander. It will not happen. And I mean, so Nelson, so Hall, so let me ask you a question. What does it leave for Virgin Islanders, future Virgin Islanders, that anybody can come in here, have a child, they become Virgin Islander, they get all rights that they want? How do you see that working?
Well, okay, let me see.
I mean, I could see it happen in St. Kitts because nobody's going to St. Kitts to have no bloody children. There's nothing there to, and I'm not being rude and dismissive. I'm just stating the obvious.
What you said, nothing in that?
You heard what I said. Okay, so explain me the value of me going to St. Kitts to have a child right now.
Value?
Yeah.
Listen, it got a lot of value.
Yeah, tell me. Give me two.
When you go up there,
Give me the two values of having a St. Kitts passport.
you could go any place. But I come back to you now.
Yes, come back to me.
Come back to you. It is slavery mentality.
No, it's not.
It is slavery mentality.
No, it's not.
With you, and you're black, but they have a white man mentality. And regardless you still.
Whatever makes you see, you can't defend your point. You can't defend your point. You cannot defend your point. It's called protection and preservation. That's what it's called. Yes. Yeah, so I know. Yeah, I know that's what he wanted to talk about, because as far as he's concerned, somebody said nation of laws, not a nation of enforcement, which is, you could tell us that too. I didn't call down your country, madam. I just stated a fact that, the value for a St. Kitts passport is not the value for a BVI passport. I ain't calling down your country. I'm just stating facts. Either which way, right? It's about preservation. It's mostly about preservation in terms of, when small nations like this make certain legislations and put certain legislations in place. Okay, it will be hard for us to open up this territory and say anybody that comes in and anybody that pass through can just come and, you get your children here and you get all access to everything. Like, seriously? Who would think that that's fair and right? Who? Right? Y'all think it's people don't stop messaging me. Don't message me. I said nothing offensive. And if how I said it, you feel offended, I apologize. Okay? But the truth is, the value between the St. Kitts passport and the BVI passport is very different. And that's a fact. There's nothing offensive about you want to go on speaker, or you just calling me to call me? Hold on.
Cindy,
Go ahead. The world is listening to you.
I don't care what you say, but you see, where I was born, I am proud of my country.
As you should
Don't
be.
disrespect my country, because me gonna disrespect yours. My grandmother was born here, went to St. Kitts to teach and get 9 children. We are here, I'm a grandchild and we proud. But we want this Catola.
Wait, pause. You said your mother is from here?
My grandmother.
It's from here?
Yes.
Okay.
GUNDS comes.
Okay. So she's a Virgin Islander.
My grandmother went to St. Kitts to teach when here wasn't had it going on.
Okay.
Now, don't this St. Kitts, because we don't.
Listen. I did not diss St. Kitts. I said that the past.
We do have a lot of things there. We are educated too. We are.
So first of all, I did not say there wasn't anything in St. Kitts. I said to explain the value between the St. Kitts passport and the BVI passport, and I was very serious about that.
Do you know that we as born Kittitian can also get the British passport? Do you know that?
Well, that's good.
Do you know that?
Well, that's good.
But then, Cindy, you know your history about here, but you don't know everybody's history.
I don't know everybody's history. So let me ask you a question. If your citizens can get a UK passport, why are they being naturalized here so they could get a UK passport?
You have to answer them.
No.
I want you to go up into labor right now.
No.
Go into labor right now, and you will find out there's not much petitions and permits. They're not. And they're not much petition here either. Because we have, Cindy, 1 US is 265. Do you see any difference? No. So they're not here. We are not benefiting like you think. We are not. $1 is 2. It's like, do you see any difference?
If $1 is 2, if I see any difference, this freeze again.
Don't just think it's because they're going to get upset. I'm a proud Kittian. I live here 42 years. But I'm a proud Kittian.
So hold on. So Kittitians can generally only get a UK passport if they qualify for BT, British citizenship, or British overseas territory citizenship. So that what you said is incorrect. So that's why I asked you if Kittitians can get a British passport, why would they get naturalized here so they can get a British passport?
Well, I don't know about nobody naturalized to the one, because me want none, okay? Me want none. Because I am not naturalizing for nothing if it ain't what sense. Me want no passport. I'm proud of being a Kittitian. I have a Sankey's passport. I love it. And it not answering. Cindy, you love this country.
No, wait, hold on. You speak. Mama, you speak, and so you gotta let me speak too.
Okay, Cindy.
Fair enough. Don't go.
Yes.
You stay, because you say, and so I want to stay, so we could have this conversation, okay? Okay, so you said to me that, Kittitians can get British passports. So the live went down, so I just rehashing this, okay? Because the live went down a bit. And we went through, we did the research, and that's not true. They have to be British citizens or British overseas territory citizens. That's why I said to you that if they can get UK passports from St. Kitts, why would they go through naturalization here? Because going through naturalization here is for you to get a UK passport. If you don't want to get a UK passport, you stay at belanger status. You want to get a UK passport, go even further, you do naturalization. So anyway,
I don't want any.
So that's just you though. We were looking at the benefits overall.
My 4 children who buy here, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get what is this, because I will get it for them.
As they should, because as you just said, their great grandmother was from here, so
yes,
they're supposed to be getting status. They should have status.
They don't get it before they could think about it. Because
right.
You see me, I'm gonna fight for my children. I hope everybody will do the same.
I hope so too.
When you got different passport that does tell you what you want to hear, but they can't mean.
Yeah. Well, you are able to speak out of 2 sides of your mouth because you're actually a Virgin Islander and a Kittitian, and nothing wrong with that, because people from here went down the islands to be teachers and so forth and all of that, and they had their children. You have very popular people here who we don't realize they're Virgin Islanders, but they were born in St. Kitts, or they were born in Nevis, or they were born in Antigua because their parent was either there being a teacher or something like that. I'm not talking about those situations. And we like to mumble it all up and get all jumbled up. We're not.
A lot of people think I was born here, but no, because a lot of people who born after me meet me here. So that's what they think. But no, I like to let people know I'm a proud Kittitian. So
you're a proud Virgin Islander?
Kittitian. I'm a SK Tolian, Cindy. SK Tolian.
So let's say it together. Let's say it together. You're a proud Eskatolian.
Uh-huh.
All right, Mama.
when you get married, would you give up your last name? No, you won't. So why should I give up mine?
But you know your last name is Tolian. They think it's come just by chance, but see you.
My passport has Sankis in it. My touch color passport says Sankis. They've never left it out. It's still there. Cindy is one love every time.
Always.
Yes, darling. You enjoy the rest of your show.
See you, boo.
Yeah.
All right. Alrighty. So, alrighty then. So, yeah. So, you know, my Sinkers people, y'all don't come climbing for me. We were establishing values of things. And so I will remain with the fact, and I've said it, I've not gone away from it. And I'm not going to go away from it because given the small... All right, yes, the live was giving us problems today. We stuck about 2 times majorly. But thank you guys for sticking and staying. I think it was a good conversation today. You know, yes, somebody's here saying that you know, yeah, that stuff that Jack was saying is history. It is history, but we ain't ready to deal with you know, Andrew being that type of history yet. We'll give it another few years. We'll give it another few years. Alrighty. It was great to have this conversation today. Remember, I'm not here tomorrow as I will be going over to Peter Island. I'm going to go and do the conference over there. So I'm going to go and do that. And we'll be back on Thursday. I think this week I might think on doing Friday, but it depends on my camera guy because I know he has some stuff going on. But again, let's see how tomorrow goes. Let's see how the conference goes, and then I'll probably see if I could do maybe a nighttime show. Just if there's stuff that I think we could have talked about tomorrow that we'd missed talking about. Alrighty. So thank you guys for tuning in. We will always have these conversations on immigration and, you know, all of these conversations. But I think when we're having these conversations, we should, you know, just kind of also think of everything, you know, think of everything that goes with, say, you know, the immigration issue that we're having and what would actually be fair, you know, to the people of this territory. You know, I will quickly say that the BVI has been a lot to a lot of people, a lot of nationalities. I think the last count we did, I think they said they had about 120 different nationalities here. And so the BVI has been a lot to a lot of people. And I think quite often we're not as grateful as we could be. And 2, sometimes I guess that's because, you know, Virgin Islanders could be a very harsh people in the way that they deal with people. So that could make people feel a certain way as well. But we have to figure it all out because all of us have to live here together. And so it will be. We continue to trot on. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in today. I want to say thank you to my sponsors again. And then let me just do up the menus for today. Again, at the pub, we have conch soup today. We have spicy coconut steak rice bowl. We have stewed chicken, pancit salmon with coconut curry sauce, and we have meatballs, pasta bake. All right. And they have peas and rice, macaroni pie, island style coleslaw, and sauteed vegetables. And you get a free non-alcoholic drink with your lunch. And then at D's upstairs of frozen imports, we have baked chicken wings, salmon in butter sauce. We have stew beef and stew pork. And the sides are white rice, yellow rice, steamed vegetables, macaroni pie, and corn on the cob. Both menus sound amazing. And I wish you guys a good rest of the day. Enjoy your afternoon, enjoy your lunch, wherever you decide to go. And I will see you guys on Thursday morning. Alrighty, take care.
Good morning, good morning. Rise and shine nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the spin, educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leader's seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts, with Cindy Rose on how the country running. We break it down. A chance undone in pound and two. Electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education. Youth, them future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability. She hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight. So you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul. Information is power. Take control. Grab your bush tea, clear your head. Start your day properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Daily talk show. Daily talk show. Covering the issues. It drops an empire. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts with Cindy Rose, and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong minds, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts with Cindy Rose, and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong minds, strong people, stronger land. Before you step out, before you decide, get the facts in the morning and walk with pride. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. Good morning, good morning, good morning.